owner of Abercrombie and Finch has been arrested for sex trafficking. Trump calls for Christians to stand up and vote. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is only the opinions of mine and others. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is only allegedly. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to the chat. Salute to my moderators. Salute to those that's watching from the clouds. Salute to you, him, and her. Salute to all my subscribers, old and new. Salute, Precious. Salute, Precious. Salute, Miss Groovy. Appreciate you all for pulling up. The list is just blowing wide open. All right. Now, we know that Baby Oil Man has been the center of attention with these celebrities. Now, the former owner of Abercrombie and Finch has been arrested for sex trafficking. Salute, Marie. Salute, Positive Vibes. We just gonna jump straight into this, y'all. I won't keep y'all away from this demonstration that much longer. So, breaking news as well as shocking news. Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, has been indicted on 16 federal counts of sex trafficking and international prostitution in New York, and is accused of leveraging a network of employees, contractors, and security professionals while he led the retailer. Also, shocking news and breaking news as well. Jamie Foxx has come out alleging that Baby Oil Man was behind him getting sick, and when it caused him to have a stroke. The rabbit hole is getting deep. It says, while Jeffries was the CEO of one of the most recognizable clothing retailers in the world, he was using his power, his wealth, and his influence to traffic men for his own sexual pleasure and that of his romantic partner, Matthew Smith. Breon Peace, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said in a Tuesday press conference. Salute, Lucky Girl. I see everybody down there. Salute. Lucky Girl says all of these celebrities were with trafficking allegations as well. That's facts, Lucky Girl. Now, Smith, 61, of West Palm Beach, Florida, and another associate of Jeffries, James Jacobson, 71, of Rice Lake, Wisconsin, were also indicted as part of the case. Jacobson was employed by Jeffries and Smith to recruit, interview, and hire men to perform commercial sex acts for Jeffries and Smith, according to the indictment. The indictment alleges that between December 2008 and March 2015, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson engaged in a sex trafficking scheme in which they would recruit men, engage in sex events at which the alleged victims were given muscle relaxants known as poppers, alcohol, lubricant, Viagra, and condoms to perform sex acts. They were allegedly enticed into the acts were modeling and career opportunities at Abercrombie. Sounds a lot like the baby oil man himself, P. Diddy indictment. You got the lubricant, you got the enticed into these acts by offering them model and career opportunities. Salute Miss Parker, salute Miss G. I see the chat. Jeffrey stepped down as CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch in December 2014, having run the company since 1992. Abercrombie and Fitch did not immediately respond to a request or for comment. The message from today's prosecution is clear. Sexually exploiting vulnerable human beings is a crime, and doing so by dangling dreams of a future in fashion or modeling or any other business is no different. U.S. Attorney Peace said at the press conference announcing the indictment. Wow. You know what, y'all? I'm glad for social media. I'm glad for social media in many different ways. One way that I'm glad for social media, because it seems like since social media is the place to be, since social media is what drives everybody, since social media has opened up these platforms, these monsters have been being exposed. Right, Miss Parker? This is getting more sickening. But here's my thing. Now, in his case, it's involving men. It's not involving minors. It's not involving females. It's involving men. Once again, I'm not against anyone from the LGBT community. I'm not against gays. Your sexual preference is your sexual preference. But what I'm against is when you have to force, or you have to drug, intimidate, and you have to manipulate men to have sexual relations with you and other men. It's wrong. Salute, Mel. Appreciate you for pulling up. Now, this is the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Breon Peace, speaks during a press conference held by the Department of Justice announcing indictment charges on sex trafficking and interstate prostitution against Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Michael Jeffries, along with Matthew Smith and James Jacobson. This is sickening, Ms. Parker. The rabbit hole runs deep. It says Jeffries and Smith relied on their vast financial resources, according to the indictment, using Jacobson and a network of employees, contractors, and security professionals to run a business that was dedicated to fulfilling their sexual desires and ensuring that their international sex trafficking and prostitution business was kept secret. They got this going international. Jeffries and Smith paid for dozens of men to travel within the United States and internationally to various locations, including the Hamptons, New York City, and hotels in England, France, Italy, Morocco, and St. Bartholomew for the purpose of engaging in sex acts with Jeffries, Smith, and others, according to the indictment. Some of the men were allegedly paid to attend multiple sex events. All three defendants were arrested this morning. Jeffries and Smith are scheduled to make their initial appearance this afternoon in federal court in the Southern District of Florida. Jacobson was arrested in Wisconsin and will make his initial appearance in federal court in St. Paul, Minnesota. They will be arraigned in the Eastern District of New York at a later date. We will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media, said Brian Bieber, attorney for Michael Jeffries. The attorney for Matthew Smith released the same statement for his client. An attorney for Jacobson did not immediately respond to a request for a comment. Jacobson's alleged role was to travel the world to recruit and interview men for the sex events and conduct tryouts of potential candidates. Jacobson typically required that the candidates first engage in sex acts with him, according to the indictment. Jeffries and Smith hired a separate household staff to supervise these parties and directed the men to wear costumes, use sex toys, or prepare for particular sex acts, prosecutors allege. The staff would also act as security and control who entered and exited the sex events, the indictment says, and would not let them leave until Jeffries and Smith decided the events were over. The accused are alleged to have used a referral system and interview process for the sex events, but didn't disclose details to the men about what they would entail, including the full extent and nature of the sexual activity that would be required of them, according to the indictment, which included anal intercourse and the use of sex toys and other objects. The accused internationally recruited heterosexual men who were also physically groomed prior to the sex parties, including shaving their genitals without advance notice. The men were required to relinquish personal items, including clothing, wallets, and cell phones. And remember, with the baby oil man parties, the one young lady said that they had to give up their cell phones. They had to give up their cell phones. Positive Vibe says the booty just leads these men. As we see, Mel says, who made this ish up? This is insane. It further says the accused internationally recruited, I think I read that, okay, on more than one occasion, the indictment says Jeffries and Smith directed others to inject or personally injected men with a drug for the purpose of causing the men to engage in sex acts in which they were otherwise physically incapable or unwilling. These injections frequently caused the men to suffer painful physical reactions that lasted for several hours, according to prosecutors. This is what they were saying in the P. Diddy case. This is what they had been saying in the P. Diddy case. This is an actual copy of the affidavit. This is the lawsuit. The United States of America against Michael S. Jeffries, Matthew C. Smith, and James T. Jacobson. Goes on. In some cases, the alleged victims had previously worked at Abercrombie stores or had modeled for Abercrombie, and were provided with I can't pronounce that, y'all. Don't charge it to my brain. Please charge it to the game. And they were provided with as ITINERARIES for the sex events that did not refer to commercial sex and instead resembled those often sent to models for photo shoots. Some of the alleged victims were as young as 19. A source familiar with the case said many of these men were aspiring models and were led to believe that attending the parties would benefit their careers, prosecutors say. They were also told, according to the indictment, that not complying with certain requests for certain acts would harm their careers. The victims were allegedly required to sign non-disclosure agreements prohibiting them from sharing any information about the sex events, including with their own family and friends. You know what, y'all? I'm just going to take this time. The world has and still is filled with a lot of evil people. Anytime that you hold your power and position to manipulate people and abuse people, now you're taking vulnerable men. These men were aspiring to be models. You know what that does to anybody? For you to grow up and you have this dream. And everybody had at least one dream. Many of us, like myself, had several dreams. But you grow up with these dreams. And when you're young, you're green, you're vulnerable, So you're thinking that people have your best interests. And most of the times, your family members lead you to these people. Not that it's anything wrong, but your family have trust in these people because of their position, because of their brand, And that's why I say to people all the time, you might want to listen to and you might want to give people without money a chance. Okay, it's a post on Instagram about Dame Dash. And I commented under it. And I said that Dame Dash was a solid man. Everybody that disagreed with me on that post, everybody said the reason why Dame Dash is not solid, they said he's not solid because he's broke. They referred to Jay-Z as being solid. Jay-Z is being real. Jay-Z is successful. That's why he left Dame Dash. But here's a clear sign, and we've been witnessing this. Baby Oil Man, R. Kelly, we've been witnessing this. Weinstein, Epstein, we've been witnessing this all our lives. These men that have this power and these men that have this money, when it all plays out, it seems that they were up to no good. And they were the ones that was abusing these people. So the next time you think just because a man is broke, he's not solid, you might want to backtrack and do your homework and really, really find out what makes a man solid. It's not the money. It's not the fame. It's not his power. It's not his position. But let's continue, y'all. It says, Jeffries came under intense scrutiny in 2023 after a BCC investigation alleged the CEO and his partners, Matthew Smith, used a middleman to recruit and exploit young men. Dozens of men filed a lawsuit last year against Jeffries and Abercrombie and Fitch, alleging the former CEO used his position at the company to exploit and abuse men. Abercrombie and Fitch said at the time it was appalled by the allegations and launched an independent investigation into the matter. Salute, Tommy. Mel says, seems like women need to take over. Ms. Groovy says, that's not a good way of looking at a man. Man makes money. Money doesn't make the man. Good point, Ms. Groovy. Mel, you might have a good point. And in a few more weeks, we might be witnessing a woman becoming the president of the United States of America. I think that's it. I got a little bit more. Then we're going to move on. It says, as CEO for over 2 decades, Jeffries transformed Abercrombie and Fitch into a global brand for teen and youth fashion, often with provocative marketing. In 2006, Jeffries went viral for a salon interview when he said, "We go after the attractive, all-American kid with a great attitude and a lot of friends. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes, and they can't belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely." In 2013, Abercrombie and Fitch garnered notoriety after a change.org petition that gained nearly 80,000 signatures. Called for the company to introduce larger, more exclusive t-shirt sizes. That year, Abercrombie and Fitch succumbed to the pressure and announced they would begin offering plus sizes in some clothing. Jeffries stepped down in 2014 amid celebration from fans who wanted to ditch his exclusionary vision for the company. Now, salute, Tammy. Appreciate you for pulling up. Now, it's going around that Baby Oil Man is the one that snitched on Abercrombie. It's going around that it's Baby Oil Man's indictment, and Baby Oil Man has started snitching and started giving up some of these high-profile individuals. Drop a 1 in the chat if you feel Baby Oil Man is behind this. Is it possible that Baby Oil Man has given up Abercrombie and Fitch? Is it possible that Baby Oil Man has put the feds on Abercrombie and Fitch? Drop a 1. As I stated before, allegedly, Jamie Foxx is saying, and matter of fact, let's go to the Jamie Foxx. I'll come back to Trump. Just bear with me. Now, this is Jamie Foxx. And y'all can let me know if y'all remember this. All right. Ms. Groovy says, 1, yeah, he's snitching. He not going down alone. Tommy says, play if daddy know about you, the feds know about you. Trust me. Jamie Foxx mocked Diddy for his insane budget when throwing parties. It says 5 years ago, prior to the disturbing Diddy allegations, Jamie Foxx opened up about his own experiences partying with Diddy. The assessment was very lighthearted, but Foxx did take aim at Diddy's ridiculous budget, which was typically over $1 million. It seems like Diddy didn't take kindly to Foxx's words. Foxx tells Colbert, I'd hang out and watch him throw parties. He told me, hey, Playboy, this party cost $1.5 million. He said, I said, Puff, I'll throw you a party for $400 that will rival this party. And he got pissed at me. I said, I respect you, but in LA, I'm known for throwing these cool parties. The reveal is definitely worth watching back, as Foxx would go on to admit that the same party would lead to his first encounter with Kanye West and the two would later collab together. So Jamie said that Baby Oil Man got pissed off with him. What are y'all thoughts on that? What are y'all thoughts on that? Now, we know that a bodyguard of Jamie Foxx, he had came out and revealed
Amazon fall favorites are here.
He had came out and revealed now it says Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI. Bombshell claims that Diddy poisoned Jamie Foxx will make his case messier. Y'all remember when Jamie Foxx had the stroke? In a recent series of interviews, shocking allegations have surfaced that could shake the foundation of two high-profile celebrities, Diddy and Jamie Foxx. These claims, though unverified, have already set the internet ablaze, and if true, could have severe ramifications for both the accuser and the accused. Marie says, Shank, it's sad to better your career, you have to perform sex to be a superstar. How wicked this is, Shank. It's very wicked, Maria. But this been going on for many, many centuries. Not just years, centuries. This been going on. It says, the statements come at a time when tensions are high and the stakes even higher. So let's dive into the allegations that may add another controversy to Diddy's string of accusations. Shocking claims surface about Diddy and Jamie. In an interview with Cam Capone News, former celebrity bodyguard Big Homie CC dropped bombshell allegations claiming that music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was involved in poisoning actor and singer Jamie Foxx. The bodyguard's words sent shockwaves across the internet, with one particular statement standing out. Well, I know he poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. I know that's a fact. Though Big Homie CC provided no direct evidence to back his assertion, he implied that this information will soon become public knowledge. Make sure y'all keep that in your mind. We're going to wait. Now, if it comes out, then we know that the Big Homie CC was telling the truth. He then went on, by the time this dropped, this is going to be in the stratosphere. This is going to be in the ether by the time this dropped. You can probably look it up right now, but by the time this interview drops, this is going to be out in the ether for sure. It goes on to say, he then went on to claim that this wasn't an isolated incident. These people poison people, bro. I've been poisoned 3 times. With no further details or concrete evidence shared during the interview, it left fans speechless. Now we got to go, y'all. We got to go to the Michael Jackson, the Prince, the Eazy-E. How many of y'all think Eazy-E was drugged? I mean, I've always felt as though somebody poisoned Eazy-E. How is it that how is it that Magic Johnson has been living with the HIV virus for going on 40 years? How is it that Eazy-E went into the hospital Friday, Sunday, he was dead? Now, Eazy-E, he was sleeping with a lot of women. So were Dr. Dre, DJ Yella, and MC Ren. And they were sharing the same women. How is it that none of Eazy-E children came up with HIV? How is it that none of Eazy-E's baby mothers came up with HIV? Nobody came down with AIDS but Eazy-E. That's food for thought. That's food for thought. Now, the $1 million question is, did Baby Oil Man give up Abercrombie and Finch? Did Baby Oil Man drug Jamie Foxx? It wasn't looking too good for Jamie Foxx at one time. Y'all remember, right? Ms. Groovy says, just like they did with the welfare, told women that they couldn't have a man in the house if they wanted a check. That's facts. Y'all remember that? And in fact, that's what broke up the black family. That was the beginning of the black family being broken up. Welfare. Because at one time, and I wanted to do this demonstration on it, but it's a separate demonstration. I'm going to have to wait. But before the 1960s, black families were leading white families when it came to less divorces, when it came down to household families with two parents in it. Black families were leading white people. I'm going to get that demonstration. That's going to be a separate demonstration because it's so much for me to cover. But for the millenniums that are just being born, don't really know the beginning of all of this. Most millenniums, not all, because there are some very educated millenniums that have done their homework. But where did all of this begin? There has to be a beginning of all of this. But that's going to be another demonstration. Now, Trump courts Christian voters days after Vogel remarks at a rally. In a nearly hour-long speech before a crowd that included evangelical leaders, he claimed that only he could protect Christian voters. He did not mention abortion once. Here is my thing for all Christians. And I need for my Christian family, I need for y'all to be honest, okay? I need for y'all to be honest, all right? Let's just be honest. Christians, how do you all feel about any president, any leader that doesn't respect the word of God? Let's start right there. And not only will I talk to the Christians, let me talk to all people that believe in God. Are you expecting for your leader? Are you expecting for your president to follow God's law? All right, let's get into this demonstration though. Former President Donald Trump on Monday used the language of persecution to make a sweeping claim that only he could protect Christian voters, darkly warning religious communities that they will come under legal, cultural, political, and global assault if he lost in November. Mr. Trump, a former tabloid fixture who was once caught on tape boasting of grabbing women by their genitals, spoke of himself at the 11th hour faith leaders meeting in Concord, North Carolina, as not just a champion of Christian causes and values, but as a member of the faithful. 2 days after he made a crude remark at a rally about a famous golfer's penis size and used profanity to insult Vice President Kamala Harris, Mr. Trump spoke on Monday of the importance of religion in his life, recalling going to church as a child and framing his survival off an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania as an act of divine intervention. But even as he courted Christian voters, by urging he was one of them. Mr. Trump shield away from directly mentioning an issue that had previously energized evangelicals behind him, but now poses a political liability, his role in overturning Roe versus Wade. Salute God as D-Love. Appreciate you for pulling up. Make sure you all go down my community wall and check out some of the content creators, content that I shared. Goddess D Love is one of the content creators. She does excellent content. Make sure you all check out Goddess D of Love content and all the other content creators that I've shared on my community wall. Salute Goddess D Love. Appreciate you for pulling up. Mr. Trump did cite his appointments of 3 conservative Supreme Court justices as among his achievements, but he failed to mention or acknowledge that those justices were pivotal in the decision that eliminated the constitutional right to abortion. In a nearly hour-long speech before a crowd that included evangelical leaders, he did not once mention Roe or abortion or use the phrase pro-life. Mr. Trump views abortion as his biggest vulnerability in the presidential election after it hurt Republicans in the midterms in 2022. He pushed to soften anti-abortion language in the Republican Party's official platform, and he has issued contradictory statements about abortion as he tries to appeal to moderate voters while appeasing social conservatives. Here's another thing that I need to speak on. See, I'm all about doing what's right, okay? However, I'm not perfect. I'm all on to doing what's right. I'm not perfect. Now, we can play with this if we want. If we are to do right, we have to be in, it's certain laws that have to be put in place. All right. And I'm very, very firm when it comes to the laws. You got the laws of God, and then you got the laws of man. Now, hey, when it comes to same-sex marriages, as a Christian, do you feel as though it's wrong for same-sex marriages? As a Christian, yes or no? Yes or no? As a Christian. I just want to see something. As a Christian. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see and it's okay, y'all. It's okay to answer yes. It's okay to answer no. I think we became so political. We want to be political correct for fear of people canceling us, especially for us content creators. Me being a content creator, like if I stay political correct, if I stay here, that's when, I get the most traction to my demonstrations. I get most views on my demonstrations when I stay in the gray area. But when I go to the black and white, meaning the right and wrong, I don't get that many views. I don't get that much traction. I don't get that much traffic to the channel. Hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna do my demonstrations. You know what I'm saying? Because I was never one to be caught up on the views. I take the views as they come. Ms. Groovy says, I can't say yes or no because we all have free will. And who you choose to sleep with is none of my business. Positive Vibe says, no, a person can marry whoever they love. It ain't none of my business. Stay right there. What does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible say about that? And I do believe we've gotten so far away from what's right and what's wrong that it's hurting us as a people. It's hurting us as a nation. It's hurting us. I'm coming, y'all. Positive Vibe says, man should not lay with man and woman should not lay with woman. Salute, B. Petty. Goddess of Love says, no, you can marry who you want. I believe different when it comes to the Bible. Okay. B. Petty says, hello, salute.
That I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. A couple of times, but Ben was very tough to beat, actually. He was getting up, and other people were falling in the wrong direction because he was in a primary with me, the original primary. And one day in a church, it was a Sunday morning, and he was doing well, really well. And in a church, he came over to me and he said, you know you're going to win, don't you? And I said, what's this all about? Because he's a tough competitor. I said, what is this all about? He said, God has picked you to win. Can you believe it? Right?
Let me stop right there. Salute the KJA family. Salute the KJA family. Appreciate you for pulling up. Appreciate you for pulling up. How many of y'all believe that? How many of y'all believe what Trump just said? And remember, after the first assassination attempt, he said it was divine intervention from God. And many of his supporters feel that way. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel the same?
And you have no idea. He was so tough for him to say that. I said, this is really something. And he really was. He's something. People love him. And they loved him then, and they even love him more now. And he went to HUD, which is I must say, it's always mired in scandal. People, you're giving out a lot of money, and there's a lot of bad things happen when you're giving out all that money. And Ben went 4 years, perfection. I don't know, has it ever happened before? Has it ever happened before?
Miss Groovy says BS. Miss Groovy says, nah, it wasn't no God intervention. Miss Groovy says BS. How many of the rest of y'all feel like it was BS?
I wasn't surprised, but a lot of people were surprised. Anytime you get through that one for 4 years, you have to be one honest gentleman. But he ran it really great, and he's a special man, and he's done a special job today, and it's my honor to be here. Thank you very much. And thank you, Ben and Candy, very much. Appreciate it. That's some story, though, isn't it, Pandy? I love that story. I'd also like to thank somebody that's done unbelievable things, and especially in very hard times. I've seemed to, when I was president, and I would go to a lot of the sites, the tornadoes are vicious. They ask which are the worst, are the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the tsunamis? And I have a friend, that's what he does, he studies this. I said, so what's the worst? He actually said tsunami. The ocean just lifts up and a lot of bad things happen, in terms of the level, but they're all bad in their own way. But I've been with Franklin Graham through a lot of them, and we're very happy to have helped him out during the course of most of them, and maybe in particular this one. This was so sad to see.
Positive Vibe says Trump needs to stop wearing that orange foundation. Y'all are hard on Trump. Drop a 1 if y'all feel that Trump needs to stop wearing the orange foundation. Drop a 1. Let me know.
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form. Country. And if you want to know what is at stake for Christians in this race, just listen to what Kamala Harris had to say last week, because when two college students, religious college students, and very good people, everybody said what wonderful young men they were and are. At a campaign stop, she heard shouting from the background, Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. And Kamala Harris ridiculed them, mocked them, and told them they were, quote, you're at the wrong rally. Get that. She basically said, get out, but I won't say that because people didn't hear that so much. But she said, you're at the wrong rally. And that's really what she meant.
What are y'all thoughts on that? There were people at the Kamala Harris rally, and they yelled out, Jesus is Lord. And Kamala said, you're at the wrong rally. What are y'all thoughts? Do you think Kamala was wrong for saying to them that they were at the wrong rally? What are y'all thoughts? I need for the Christian side of the family to talk to me. This is an open platform. Everybody's opinion is respected. Everybody's perspective is much needed. You will not be bashed over here. So it's okay to voice your opinion. Do you disagree with Kamala, or do you agree with her when she told those that said Jesus is Lord, she said you're at the wrong rally? Do y'all disagree with Kamala, or do you agree with her?
That's really what she meant. She's very destructive to religion. She's very destructive to Christianity and very destructive to evangelicals. And
how do y'all feel about that? Now, this is some good food for thought. Do y'all feel as though she's disrespectful towards Christians and other religions? Positive Vibe says she disagrees with her. So Positive Vibe disagrees with what Kamala done. And see, this is what happens. I'm going to tell y'all what always happens, especially over here on my demonstrations. When I raise questions about Trump, and when I'm, disagreeing with Trump or whatever, the Trump supporters, they'll try to plead their case about Trump. But now when I'm pleading my case about Kamala, and, we may disagree with Kamala, the Kamala supporters automatically throws off on Trump. Well, what is Trump doing? I want to know, when it comes to these statements that Kamala made, I want to know. The KJA family says, honestly, I don't care about who the president is because they will choose who they want. Just make sure that you are voting on the community level for the changes you need to happen in your community. And I've heard that so many times the KJA family. So I would have to say I agree with you. I feel that way. And I've heard that several times from people. Whoever is going to become the president, trust me, they already know. Now, whether Trump knows, whether Kamala knows, whether their supporters knows, somebody somewhere knows who's going to win this election. And as the KJA family said, vote for what's going to affect you in your community. And that's at the local levels. Appreciate that comment, the KJA family.
To the Catholic Church, and she's, let me put it this way, Ben, she is your worst nightmare. Much worse than Biden, and he wasn't so hot. But while Kamala says that people who believe in Jesus don't belong to her rallies, you have to remember that that's as loud as it can be. In fact, a lot of people said that would be disqualifying for her. That would be a disqualification. In our movement, we love Christians, we welcome believers, and we embrace followers of Jesus. Thank you.
B. Petty says, can't say she's wrong for expressing what she's slandering for. Salute to Nithya. Salute to Nithya.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Boy, this is a lively group, Ben. This is a very lively group you've assembled. What's going on with Ben? This is something, Ben. But at Trump rallies, we don't tell Christians to get lost. We tell Christians to get out and vote. You don't have the choice of sitting out this election, because if Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, the radical left is not going to leave Christians alone. It's going to get worse and worse, and you're going to suffer greatly.
The KJA family says these gang members been going hard. We are less than 3 weeks away from election. Positive Vibe says Kamala gave Trump fuel with that comment. Yes, he did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. The Nithya says, I think I am now more stuck on Trump needing to learn how to hold a Bible rather than toting a Bible. Man, I like to cry when he held that Bible upside down. And see, that's for me, y'all, for me, by me not being Democrat nor Republican, by me being able to give y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm able to see things from both sides. You know what I mean? I'm able to see the good that Trump does. I'm able to see the good that Kamala does. For me, I can't speak for nobody else. But I'm also able to see the bad and the ugly that they bring as well. You know, sometimes I laugh with Kamala. Sometimes I laugh with Trump. You know, but we're 3 weeks away, y'all. We're 3 weeks away. We might be about to witness the first woman president of the United States of America. Are y'all ready for that? How many of y'all are ready for a woman to be leading this country? Goddess D of Love says, in my opinion, this shows how religion and politics work together. Now that's deep. That's deep, Goddess D of Love. That's deep. Denithia says all of this selling of products is people paying for his attorneys in trial. Right, right. And see, when it comes to Trump, I'm not mad at Trump. I'm not mad at Kamala. I'm not, y'all. I'm not. I'm not mad at neither one of them. They about their business. What y'all think about this, y'all? Did she or didn't? And all this impression of what Kamala Harris might look like as a McDonald's worker. Man. Mel says, look at all the crap she is inheriting. Denithia says, Turk is a businessman. Man, the question of whether Kamala Harris ever worked at McDonald's has become one of the most unexpected talking points of the election campaign. The Democratic candidate has used it to burnish her middle-class credentials by claiming her time behind the deep fryer helped fund her way through law school. How many of y'all believe that? How many of y'all believe that Kamala worked at Mickey D's? I can believe it. I can believe Kamala worked at Mickey D's. I've worked at Mickey D's before. I mean, you got to remember, I'm 52. Kamala, I believe, 59. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But go back to the 80s. Let's go back to the 80s, the early 80s. I mean, especially for us, and I still think that's how it is today. But especially back then, remember, for 9 out of 10 children, for 9 out of 10 teenagers, McDonald's was the first job that any of us worked. If it wasn't McDonald's, it was Burger King, KFC, Roy Rogers, Hardee's, some kind of fast food restaurant that most of us worked at as their first job. I worked at McDonald's twice. I worked at a McDonald's twice. Denithia says, I did Great American at Burgers on the Run. Denithia says she just turned 62 days ago. Okay, so she's 60. Okay. Mel says, I do. Many college students and entertainers work in restaurants on their way up because of the flexible hours. Goddess of Love says, facts, all fast food. Mel says, BK for me. So I believe she worked at McDonald's. I do. I do believe she worked at McDonald's. And there's nothing wrong. Even to this day, there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. Would I work at McDonald's? Yeah. If that's what's going to pay my bills, I sure would work at McDonald's. Now, here's Trump. This dude. Here's... Y'all... Man, this dude. This dude right here, he at times... Lord have mercy. At times, he can be more funnier than the funniest comedians that I've ever known. He can be more funnier than them. This dude, Trump. Lord have mercy, boy. How do y'all feel about Trump working at McDonald's? The KJA family says, sometimes I think people forget that he was an actor as well, and a good-ass actor, the KJA family. A good actor. Let's see.
Media platform Truth Social is enjoying a rebound. The Trump media's share price has almost doubled over the past 3 weeks to around $25. That's still less than half of the value of its 12-month high back in April. Now, this turnaround has been boosted by Trump's odds of winning back the White House. While the race remains close, the betting markets and a few recent polls have shifted towards Trump. We've got CNN's Matt Egan joining me now to make sense of some of the stock movements. Many people are saying what we're seeing with Truth Social is basically a barometer for the former president, and really it doesn't have anything to do with how the stock performs. Could you give us a sense of what we're seeing right now, and whether it is linked to the probabilities of a Trump presidency?
Yeah, Eleni, I'll do my best to try to make sense of
That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, Eleni, I'll do my best to try to make sense of this really ridiculous stock.
Hold up, y'all. That's not what I wanted. Hold up, y'all. Look at it. That's a dude. Look at this dude. The KJA says, sometimes I think people... Okay. What do y'all think? Just a fool. Lord have mercy. Y'all got to forgive me. Y'all know when but for him to be working at McDonald's, do y'all think that he's just trying to con us? Do y'all think he's using this to manipulate us? Why do y'all think he chose to work at this drive-thru? And they said he was there for hours. They said he was there for hours. Do y'all think that this is him showing everybody that he's for the common American, like as much money that he may have, as rich as he is this a sign of him showing us, hey, look, I'm for all people. I'm for all American people. And no job is too small for me. What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Do anybody have any thoughts on this? And I've just checked the latest polls. All right, Goddessy of Love says he is media and social manipulator. Now, let me ask you, Goddessy of Love, do you think that it's anything wrong? A says Trump daddy working hard. Mel says undercover boss. Because see, like for me, okay, for me being a content creator, now, some things I'm just not going to do. Some things I'm just not going to do. However, me being a content creator and me, having my platform, I do understand that it's some things on social media that I do have to do that other content creators won't do. Now, I ain't selling my soul. I'm not doing nothing foolish, no buffoonery or stuff like that. But when I look at Trump, I always look at Trump as a businessman. Salute Dana J. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute Dana J. Goddessy of Love says, no, a manipulator works to do things in their favor. And as I stated before, everybody handles business differently. You could talk to 5 different businessmen. You could talk to 5 different business women. They gonna give you, the basics and everything that they may agree on. However, I'm sure that some things that they do will be different. Now with Trump, I said it and I'll say it again. I've always looked at him as a businessman, and I look up to him as a businessman. Okay? Now, I do see y'all down there in the chat. Let me get some of my commentary off and I'll come down to the chat. But as a businessman, when I make moves, other people can't see the moves that I make. And they might say, Shank, if that was me, I wouldn't have done it like that. They may even question me. Shank, why did you do it like that? Why didn't you do it like this? And I have to remind them, because the way that I saw fit. Now, for me, I would probably do something like this. Go work in a McDonald's and videotape it, get people to take pictures, and come up with a storyline and post it to my social media platforms. Somebody else may look at it and be like, nah, I wouldn't have done that, Shank. Like when I went to the Trump rally, okay? Now, I went to the Trump rally, me and Miss Parker, shout out to Miss Parker, I went to the Trump rally to do my homework. But I knew me going to the Trump rally, I knew that I had to make it count for me. So what did I do? I went, me and Miss Parker, we got Donald Trump shirts made up. I wore my red, blue, and white 4th of July American glasses. Me and Miss Parker, we stood out. Me and Miss, out of I'm gonna say 3,000 Trump supporters. Me, Miss Parker, the brother Ricky Manor, and maybe 5 other black people were at this rally. But I knew that me and Miss Parker, I knew we was going to stand out. So all eyes were on me and Miss Parker. Now, this is something that I knew going to the rally. What I'm trying to say is, you have to, Eminem got that song, and y'all know the song that I'm talking about. Y'all help me out with that song that Eminem got. It's in the 8 Mile movie. It's on the soundtrack, Live for the Moment. You only get one shot at it. You only get this one shot. So, same way with Kamala. I think Kamala is playing the game to the best of her ability. She knows that she's a woman, so she knows that the women are definitely going to cater to her if she talks the language of women, right? Let me jump to the chat, y'all. And I don't mean to skip over no comments. Let me see what the chat is saying. Mel says, maybe he wanted to see how hard it is to work in restaurants. The media says, Trump just showboating. He will take a picture in front of your gravy and he needs it on his resume. A says, I would like to see Kamala try and work at McDonald's. Dana J says, so why is Trump a manipulator? That would be Kamala Harris. Michelle says, he's trying to manipulate people, thinking that manipulating people, but that McDonald's was closed when he was in there. Dad says, Trump 2024. Dana says, let's get those likes up. Goddess of Love says, Trump is one of the greatest businessmen I know. Goddess of Love says, yes. Y'all get my likes up, y'all. Dana J says, the best feeling ever, bro. Dad says, damn, Miss Parker. Y'all remember the movie Friday? Yeah. So, like I said, for me, y'all, I'm neutral. I'm not Democrat nor Republican. I can give you all the good, the bad, and the ugly on both of them. I can appreciate both of them. And this is what I've said, and I'll say it again, in both of their defense, in Kamala's defense, as well as in Trump's defense. It takes a lot to even run for president. Now, just imagine when either one of them becomes the president, they're going to have the weight of the world on their shoulders. Goddess D of Love says, they saying goals, you have to use what you got to get what you want. You got to get you got to use what you got to get what you want. Dana J says, I've been to both party rallies and I will never in life do a Democrat rally ever again. Do you care to share with us, Dana J? What was your experience like at both? What was your experience like at both of those rallies? Do you care to share with me, Dana J? What was your experience like? And anybody else that may have attended a Trump rally or a Kamala rally, what was the experience like? There you go, y'all. There you go. There you go. That's Trump dropping fries. He can add that on his resume.
But she says she worked since she grew up in terrible conditions. She worked at McDonald's. It was such. She never worked there.
Ms. Groovy says publicity stunt. Dana J says Democrat rally was judgmental and very obnoxious. Trump rally was loving and graceful and informative. All right. Anybody else experience a Trump rally? Is there anybody else who've experienced a Trump rally?
Statistic that I know you know, Chris. In the
It's up like at least 45%. That's an incredible. You take a look at Venezuela, take a look at some of these countries that are taking all their gang members and their criminals off the streets and giving them to us. Their crime is down 40, 50, 60, 70%. So we're going to give you back the dignity and the respect. You know, we have great respect for you, and we're not going to let this happen. You can stop crime. You just have to be given the go-ahead. You go to Chicago, you go to a lot of cities, and they rob a department store, and guys are walking out with refrigerators. They have it on their back with two friends and air conditioning and everything. And they literally are stripping, and the police are standing outside, and they're shaking out of anger because they really want to do something, but they're told to stand down, and they're watching these criminals walk out. We're not going to have that happen. We're not going to let that happen. So thank you very much, Sheriff. I appreciate it.
You know, I think unfortunately, since you left office, and certainly 2020 and COVID and George Floyd, I mean, it has been tough, and that's why I think we're all so grateful for the men and women in blue, because you do put your lives on the line every single day. So thank you, Chris, honestly, and for being a leader there. But I'm sure that is something that these sheriffs have to worry about, to encourage men and women to come back to the police force, that they will be supported on a federal level.
It's become more and more dangerous. I mean, I visited a great family in Long Island where a policeman who was killed said, please open the door. They opened the door and they start firing. The windows were darkened. They opened the door and they start firing. There's not a thing you can do, even if you were allowed, and they're not allowed, to open the door with a gun in your hand. You're still not going to make it because you can't beat that kind of speed. I mean, he's got a gun. and they started firing. He died. I went to the funeral. He died, and I paid my respects to the most beautiful family, and they can't even believe it. But the wife was telling me that she was so afraid it was going to happen. And things are happening today. It's a very dangerous profession. Of course, being president is a very dangerous profession. You know, we were going over that the other day. 0.1% of race car drivers, that's pretty dangerous, right? 0.1% race car drivers die. 0.1%, these guys that ride the bulls, I mean, say what you want, they are very brave. That is, but 0.1%, similar to like the race car stuff. With presidents, it's a lot of them. If you think about it, you know, you had Lincoln and Kennedy and McKinley and this and that, or get shot at, many shot at, Reagan and Ford. And this is a very dangerous profession, but I wouldn't change it for anything because we're going to turn our country around.
How do y'all feel about his last comment? And then I'll let you all get out of here. He says, being a president is a very dangerous job. What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all think being a president is a dangerous job? There has been 3 attempt assassinations on his life already. 3 already. Denithia says, I don't understand how he keeps lusting over women at these events. Al Smith event in the rally and talking about another man's genitals after being found guilty of these acts. He likes danger. Is it anybody else that feels like Denithia? I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Make sure on your way out, double tap the screen and hit the like button. Make sure y'all go down my community wall and check out some of the content creators that's on my community wall. Official Dana J Political Talks and Views is on my community wall as well. Check out his content. Subscribe to the channel. Check out his content. Goddess D of Love is on my community wall. Miss Parker, Still Swinging Podcast. Shano, Chopping It Up TV. Perp. Vino Entertainment TV, Perp. Just Me TT. And a whole list of other content creators is on my community wall. The KJA family says, to me, it was the actor in him. The attempt on his life, I feel, is fake. If they want you, they're going to get you. I believe that too, KJA. Like, if they really wanted him, they'd have got him. They would have got him. They would have got him. Some people have said to me, Shank, it wasn't nothing but a publicity stunt. Shank, he staged it. Some people feel like he staged it. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute, and I'll see y'all on the next demonstration. Salute.